Kevin Russo, my co-host, is here.
Hello, sorry for the delay.
Hello.
Is this Hirsh Gardner?
It certainly is.
Hirsh Gardner of the band New England, live on visual radio tonight.
That would be me. It's a pleasure to be on visual radio. How's it going, Joe?
Good. You sound nice and crisp and clear. This is excellent, Hirsh.
Very good.
You'll be in the studio in person, right?
I plan on it.
Great. Great.
I'm going to bring my lunch with me.
Well, you can do that. We have fun here.
We can just like stay all day and party.
We do, but we're on the air live on Thursday night, 8 to 9 p.m.
Oh, terrific, terrific.
And you have a new studio in Cambridge?
Yes, I do. I put together a studio with a dear friend of mine, Steve Baxter. You might remember Steve was the bass player, lead singer for the group Shy Boy. And so I have my home studio, which I've been working out of for many, many years. And Steve wanted to put together a studio of his own. So we started off very, very small. And the project grew into, a very, I guess you might say expensive, $100,000 studio. We hired Michael Blackmere to come in and design the room, and we have a very high-end Pro Tools setup with all of the goodies, and so that I primarily spend most of my time between my home studio and the Cambridge studio now.
Now, you and I used to work at a studio on Putnam, which is gone. Is that, you're close to Putnam Street?
Right around the corner, actually.
And I got some sad news from Putnam Street. I don't know if you heard about the passing of a country legend. John Lincoln Wright died on Sunday.
John Lincoln Wright passed away. Yeah, I read that just the other day. Had you? Obviously, you met him several times over the years, didn't you?
He was on our show for 2 hours. I have 2 hours with John Lincoln Wright.
Oh man.
And Marshall Simpkin from the club. I alerted Marshall. He didn't know. And Joe Tortelli, the writer, who wrote him up in Goldmine. So we have this wonderful tape of JLW.
Yeah.
Just talking, just an interview.
That's terrific. That was, yeah, I met John, several times over the years. I mean, years ago, I used to see him play at, all the local clubs, Brandy's, Bunratty's, all the different clubs, and he was just a wonderful guy and very, very polite and, an honorable guy. He'd be sadly missed.
Yeah, that's it, Hirsh. He was just a wonderful guy and just really sweet human being.
Yeah, he was a great guy.
It's just, we lost Hubert Sumlin and Howard Tate,
yep.
Sylvia Robinson, Dobie Gray, and Moogie Klingman. This is like 6. It's too much.
Yeah, I know. Well, but you and I are still here, and we're still rocking.
Yes, and next week there's a show with some great rockers. One of the Dictators is playing at Passim, right?
My friend Scott Kempner, former of the Dictators, and also the Del Lords. The Del Lords had a big hit single on MTV a while back, Judas Kiss. About my record label that I have, it's GB Music.
Gary Boris, yep.
And we're based out of New York, and we've been releasing titles for years and years and years. Actually, the label started with my partner Gary Boris and I. We wanted to release some New England stuff, and we made some inquiries to Warner Brothers, and they said, "Well, you'll have to buy the rights." So we did. We bought the rights to New England, and there was a label in Japan, Marquee Avalon, that released three albums that we had. In Asia, and then GB Music, our own label, we released them all here in the United States. So that was the beginning of the record company. And since then, we've worked with, oh my God, everybody. Stars, The Remains, which was Marky and Dee Dee Ramone, 8084. We've released, of course, my solo albums were released.
You say plural? Because I know I got one of them from Japan.
Well, I have a couple of songs that I've released since then, just as singles. Also, Under Fire, 707, 8084, and of course, we just released 3 titles for Elliott Murphy and Tenement Angels, which was, we're talking about Scott Kempner now, so we released the latest re-release that we did was Scott Kempner's Tenement Angels, which I remastered, and it was just a joy to do that because the songs were so great. And there was also another song that Scott had me mix and remaster, and we put that on Scott's record as well. And by the way, that's also available in vinyl and CD.
Wow, that's amazing. So you guys are pressing vinyl as well as the CDs?
Yeah.
And Hirsh, when you master them, do you master differently for the vinyl than you do for the CD?
No, not on the Scott Kempner record. That was the first one that we did, and I just submitted both. I mean, there were slightly different track order on the vinyl, and I think we put a bonus track on the vinyl. But no, I really didn't do anything different.
Now that's odd.
We love the sound of the mastering that we did, so we just put it on both. They sound great.
There's usually the bonus track on the CD. You guys flipped it and put it on the vinyl?
Yeah.
That's funny. You're changing the way things are done.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool. So now you're going to go to Passim next week.
Well, Passim is, Thursday the 15th. Anyone who's listening, please come by. There's going to be, a lot of folks there. We're inviting all our celebrity friends from the Boston area. And Elliott Murphy is headlining the show, and Scott is opening. So I would say it's probably a co-bill, but it's just fabulous that we're going to have both those guys in town at the same time.
It's a great underground bill because Elliott Murphy came out of that whole Modern Lovers kind of thing.
He sure did. He sure did. I mean, Elliott goes back to, I think he released his first album, Aqua Show in '73, same year Springsteen released. And Springsteen's actually played on some of Elliott's albums. Those guys are friends. Elliott, had a great career here in the States for years, and then discovered Europe and moved to France, where he actually lives right now. So he's back here in the States touring behind the 3 GB music releases that we just put out. And he's got his whole band with him. It's going to be a great night at Passim next week on Thursday.
Wonder if he'll do Diamonds by the Yard.
He sure will.
He will, all right.
Yes, he will.
It's a great song.
Yeah, it's a great song. It's a
great
song.
title.
I mean, I got introduced to Elliott because of the, I remembered the song Rock and Roll, Rock and Roll, Rock and Roll from years ago, and Last of the Rock and Roll Stars, which is his big hit single back then. But of course, while mastering the 3 different CDs that I just did, it was just great listening to all these tracks. He's a wonderful, wonderful songwriter. It's good to hear.
Now, do you roll out of bed and do stuff at home and then take it down to the studio in Cambridge?
As a matter of fact, that's what I'm doing right now.
The John Lennon thing, he rolls out of bed and does instant karma.
Yeah, well, yeah, must be nice. Well, I'm no John Lennon, but I know one thing about me. I work real hard. So I'm actually mixing one of my songs right now,
which is called
"If You Need to Talk." And it's a song about some folks need a little bit of help and they need to talk to somebody, and it could be, we were talking about people passing away. It could be about if somebody passes away and you don't talk to somebody about it, you hold it all inside. That's not a good thing. There are other people out there who are, have problems, emotional, physical, mental, and they're not talking to people about it. So the song touches on a little bit of that. And also, you always try to use the metaphor behind a song about relationships between 2 people.
Sure.
So you could be, the song could be about, you and your partner, or it could also be about, you and your best friend. Hey, listen, man, if you need to talk, come and see me. So it's anyway. I'm doing that here, and I'm sort of setting up my mix here, and absolutely, I'm going to throw it on a disc.
Sounds like a good title for a film soundtrack. If You Need to Talk.
Yeah, which that's actually, boy, Joe, you are a brilliant interviewer, because that is a great segue into. I just had a meeting with John Butcher, who, of course, for 800 years.
Butcher will be coming into this studio. I'm psychic. I see my crystal ball. I see John Butcher and Charlie Farron coming into the studio.
I think you should have them there, man. They would rock the place.
We've already got them like booked without a date. So the crystal ball is there. They're coming in, and you are too.
Well, that's great. Well, John, yeah, it's funny. John came in, called me up the other day and said, let's do some stuff. And so I, invited him down to the Cambridge studio, and he brought in 4 or 5 songs that are older songs of his that he wants to redo with me producing. And what we're going to be doing those is we're going to be presenting those for film and TV. So that's another interesting project that I'm about to embark on. It's always great to work with John because he's just such a professional.
I have a producer up in Haverhill, Hirsch, Jay LaFond, at the Haverhill TV station.
Yeah.
So we went to Tecan to see the Vanilla Fudge and Farron and Butcher.
Ah, my old friend Carmine.
Right. He was up at Tupelo last night,
Yeah.
Carmine. So anyways, and Jay was up there. He got the first song. Carmine let him do the first song of the set last night.
Oh,
So,
no.
yeah, so we got that on tape, but we're taping Farron and Butcher, and the club says, you can't tape Charlie Farron. And I'm like, I can't tape Charlie Farron? Do you know who you're talking to? So we finally tracked down Charlie, and he said, of course Joe can tape. So we got 2 cameras, and then Charlie's wife got a camera. So these clubs have to be forward-thinking, because now Charlie has all 3 cameras, and he's mixing it at home.
Oh,
You know how important this is, Hirsch.
Oh, it's totally important. I mean, look what's going on Facebook, and I just posted a couple of songs on my site, and just like one of my a song from my solo album I just posted the other day that a lot of people had not heard, and I'm getting some terrific response from it, and people are being reintroduced to to me and my my songwriting and my voice. It's funny. Barry Goudreau's wife, Connie, sent me a note going, Hirsch, what a great song. Who's singing? I sent her back, and I said, I am. And she said, oh, my God, what a great voice. So thank you, Connie, for that.
You know I loved your first solo record. I really did. And you know me. If I didn't like it, I would have told you point blank.
You would have, man, and I appreciate that.
But you played it for me at Daddy's Junkie Music in Boston. You played it for me on those beautiful speakers, and I said, wow, Hirsch is onto something. And I'd really love to see my friends doing well. And you are doing well.
Well, I'm working hard, man. I'm working hard. I've got, just a bunch of different things going on. I've got the Brooks Young Band, young guys, really great guys. I mean, these guys have been playing with everybody, like Johnny Lang and Brad Whitford joins them on stage. And we're going to be doing a couple of songs in the studio. And Brad Whitford's going to be joining us on guitar for at least one of the songs, which is killer. And then, of course, I've got the John Butcher thing going on. I'm also working with an artist named Sarah Thompson, amazing blues singer. I guess if you have to say who she's like, she's a cross between Adele and Joss Stone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, and she's just smoking, and she's working with guitar player Billy Gear, and Billy's been around for years and years.
Billy Gear worked with me for years. He's a dear friend.
Oh, Billy's a monster, man. He's
Billy worked with Jimmy Miller, of course.
Yeah.
Hey, my co-host sitting next to me, he's my Ed McMahon, Kevin Russo. Kevin doesn't realize that Hirsch and I were hanging out at the Rat back in, 77, Hirsch, 76? Oh, yeah. So you and I go back.
We do, man.
Almost 20, 30... 34, 35, we've known each other 36 years or so.
Yeah.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Well, do you remember, you were probably there the night the Talking Heads played the Rat.
I think I have it on tape. You want to master it?
Yeah, Blondie.
I met Blondie down there.
Yeah.
Elvis Costello met him down there.
I mean,
it was a scene.
It was a great scene, man. And it was when rock and roll was young and vibrant, and it still is. The kids today are coming in, and they've got all the piss and vinegar that we had back then.
Didn't you walk in with Steve Tyler one night? I think I saw you walking in with Steve.
Yeah, I mean, we were hanging out. It's funny. I was over at their Kent Street apartment one night with a friend of mine, Peter Stahl.
Aerosmith.
And I'm walking down the stairs to the of course, the basement apartment, and everybody's like just passed out on the floor, and I tripped over some guy, and that was the first time I met Joe.
Perry?
Yes.
That's too funny.
So he looks at me and goes, hey, what are you doing, man? I say, hey, what's going on?
But, people don't realize it because they're such mega stars. I used to go see them at the Box, which is that cinema.
Oh, yeah, right.
And there was Aerosmith. They were just a local band. They were opening for the Kinks at the Orpheum. It was great. No, at the Wang Center.
I mean, it was like I used to go see them. We used to do a double bill with them at Katie's Sunday afternoon.
New England?
Well, no, this was way before New England.
Oh, what was your band?
Crossfire, and Berkshire. That was probably in the early 70s.
You know, one of the first records I ever promoted was you and John Butcher with Ava Electris.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Remember that? We got to master that EP.
Yeah.
I got a copy hanging around just because it's history. It's you and John.
Yeah, it is. It is. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I still get that. But that was one of the first records I ever promoted. I got it in Billboard.
Oh, that's great.
God bless the late Roman Kozak. He reviewed Ava for me.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a pick-to-click you were on. That's pretty good, you know? Yeah, we got a review in the Globe, so that record did well, you know?
That was a fun time. It was a fun time. There's a lot of great stuff going on, and
it's not like that anymore, Hirsh. You talk about the good old days. We didn't realize what we had, huh?
You know, what we had was something that was real. I mean, when you're living the moment, it sometimes passes you. I mean, you don't realize the history at that point because it's not history. You're living the moment. But I'm telling you, it's you'd bump into people like Rick Ocasek and Van Orr, and then you'd bump into Joe Perry and Steve Tyler and Jay Giles and the guys in New England and
Jonathan Richman and it was a crazy scene. It was a great time. And we had a lot of fun performing. I mean, you and I got to rock the Rat.
Absolutely.
I climbed up through the ceiling. I don't think you did that.
No, I never did that.
You were too busy working on stage.
No, I was working on stage or passed out underneath the bar, man. That was my role.
I was crawling through the ceiling while Hirsh was banging the drums, see? But not at the same time, Kevin. It would be different nights. He'd be on the drums, I'd be in the ceiling.
I think New England actually played the Rat, like an unannounced gig in between one of our tours. I bumped into Jimmy Harold, and we were just shooting the breeze. I said, "Hey, Jimmy, why don't you let New England play?" And he says, "You guys would play here?" And I said, "Yeah, we do it for a laugh. Just we'll come in and we'll just bring in." So we brought in like the semi tractor trailer truck and set up all our gear. There was barely room for the crowd, and it was an unannounced gig. And as I walked down the street to the gig that night, people were lined up all the way down to that friggin' hotel down near the Store Drive. It was wild.
You guys were happening. I went to the Paradise a couple of months ago because my friend Steve Hawley, you must know Steve Hawley, the drummer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He plays with Ian Hunter, so they called me and said, "Hey, we're in town." And I never go out anymore, Hirsh. But it was, Steve Hawley, Ian Hunter, so I went out on a Friday night.
Yeah.
And the manager of the club told the girl at the box office he used to book this place. It was funny because this young girl who wasn't even around when we were hanging out there, she knew who I was. I thought that was kind of cool.
Very cool.
This 22-year-old girl's like, "I know who you are." I said, "Oh, good. Give me my tickets." So anyways, I go in, and they give me the tour. They've renovated the room. It's beautiful. Have you been in?
I forget the last time I was there. I might have been a few years ago. I went there to see Vince Gill, who's, by the way, one of my idols. But actually, I think I might have been there one time after that.
It's all renovated. It's beautiful. They moved it. They moved the stage so the pole isn't right in your face anymore.
Oh, that's good.
That's a good thing. And I stayed up on the balcony writing my review because it's different these days. It's just different for me. But Ian was great.
Oh, he's a monster.
He is, and he can still pack a room. And he did from Brain Capers. Oh, what did he do? Not Death Will Be Your Santa Claus, the other one, but Brain Capers, Mott the Hoople. It was just awesome. The Moon Upstairs. Oh, what a great album. He did as an encore, The Moon Upstairs by Mott the Hoople. It was just great. And Saturday gigs. I had fun.
Oh, that's nice, man. Well, that's that's the kind of guys. That's the kind of band that you want to see in a club like that. It just brings back. It's nostalgic. It brings back good memories. But once again, I'm out there all the time seeing the new bands, and I'm happy to report that there's still some great players out there. These young kids are coming up, and where we started playing music when we were 13, 14, 15, the kids nowadays are starting music because we are the parents, and we're letting our kids know how cool it is to play. And these kids are starting when they're like 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, literally.
I must correct you, Hirsh, and I'm sad to say we're the grandparents, Hirsh.
Well, I'm not a grandparent yet.
I know, but it's like the third generation of the kids coming up now, you know?
But you know, I swear, these kids are just monster players.
No, we're the parents, and Peter Wolf and Jonathan, they're the grandparents.
They're the grandparents.
Yeah, we're the parents. You're right, I stand corrected.
So,
So I might come down and see, but see, I got the show. What time is the gig next Thursday?
7 o'clock, and Joe, you got to come.
Well, I'm on air at 8 to 9.
Oh, all right. Well, it'd be great to see you if you can make it. Maybe you can have your sidekick cover for you for an hour.
Well, the show's only an hour.
Oh.
And this is my world, Hirsch. This is where I am now, you know.
Well, you know what you could do? You could come over to my studio, and what we'll do is we'll tape an hour show.
Yep.
And you'll just get somebody to push the button, and then they'll just the show will run, and you will be partying with me. And as a matter of fact, while we tape the show, you can tell people that, hey, this is not really happening right now, but it is, because I'm not here. I'm over at Passim with my friend Hirsh, watching Scott Kempner and Elliott Murphy. And that could be a taped show. What a concept.
That might be a plan. I don't know, you know.
Well, I learned that from John Garabedian. John's been doing that for years.
I understand the, what's this Sunday night something? What's the show, the Sunday night?
Oh, isn't it his top 10, Sunday night top 10 thing that he does worldwide now?
Yeah. Does he still do it out of Kiss 108?
Well, I think it's syndicated to.
I mean, he probably does it out of his house.
Oh, he definitely does, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? February 19th, we're having a record expo in Dedham. You know, that old 33, 34-year-old record expo.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to come down and be one of our special guests, you can put your records out and meet people.
I think that's a great idea.
I'm going to send you an invite, and it's Randolph Music's 34th anniversary record expo. They've been going on for years and years, and sometimes Ken Shelton comes out, Gary Summers.
Oh yeah, I love all those. You know what? I'm gonna talk to Gary Boris, my partner, and what we'll do is we'll set up like a GB Music booth, so we'll have all of the records and CDs that we've put out over time, including all the New England stuff and all the Ramones stuff, and my solo records.
Oh, it'd be great, yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome.
I don't know if I mentioned, but we put out a couple of Sylvain CDs.
I love Sylvain.
He's great. So we've got a lot of stuff. So definitely send me an invite to that. I want to come out and do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Beautiful, man.
And I got to see your studio. So, we've taken a lot of your time up tonight.
Let me get back to my mix. It's been fabulous talking to you, Joe, as always.
It's important for us to reconnect. I'm glad we did.
Me too.
I'm going to get reviews up of your boys before the show. I promise to.
That'd be great, man.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Hirsch.
All right, Joe. Have a great night.
Yep, bye. Hirsh Gardner. I owe him some reviews. They send me records, and I've just been so busy. Billy Gear, old friend of mine. Isn't that a fascinating trip back to my youth in the nightclubs in Boston? Hirsh Gardner is a drummer from New England. They had a big hit called Don't Ever Want to Lose Ya. Great, great song. One of my favorite songs of the Boston rock and roll era. And so we'll have Hirsh in here. We'll have John Fannin, the singer of New England, come in.